I'm going to give you 6 elite tips that if you follow these things, you will make more money. It would be impossible for you not to. All right, listen guys, we're gonna get started. Look, dude, does everybody want to sell more stuff? Does everybody want to be more successful? Does everybody want to have more purpose? Does everybody want to make more money? Does everybody want to have a better team, a better company, better culture? Okay, you guys are on fire. You guys are, if you're not paying attention what's going on in the company, have we gotten better over the last 30 days? Have we gotten better over the last 60 days? Yes or no? Are our systems getting better? Are our processes getting better? Are our sales skills? Are we making more money? Some of us might be, but there might be a few people that are still stuck in like a repetitive cycle. I'm going to give you 6 elite tips that if you follow these things, you will make more money. It would be impossible for you not to. But what's your perspective today? If I can't shift who you are and your identity and your perspective, even if I give you the most powerful stuff and I'm fired up and I'm passionate and I love my life and this is how I live and this is how I've sold millions of dollars of products, if you don't have the right perspective, Monty, Chris, Zeke, Kyler, Colton, Dustin, if you don't have the right perspective, I'm going to kick your ass every single freaking time. So some of you guys need to use this as a chance real quick to kill off the old you. And by the way, if you're not killing off the old version of you, if you haven't died 1,000 deaths, you're never going to go to the next level. If you're okay with the person that you are yesterday, you're not physically getting better, you're not mentally getting a little sharper, you're not getting better every single day, you're crazy. Every time I see Dustin, I walk up to him and he looks different. He looks a little bit better. He looks a little bit sharper. He's in progress right now. If you're around that guy for more than 5 minutes, you feel it. Okay, he wasn't even like that 6 months ago. Every single day he's gotten better because he's literally killing off the new version of himself every day. That might sound like some fucking social media quote or something that you think that we just say, but every single time you come down on the Elliott group, every single time you're around me, I swear to God, I will be better. There will be progress in my life, progress over everything, or I will die freaking trying. I'm going to give you the tips that you need in a sales cycle, and I want you to write this down. Hey, it's the Macklin twins. Thanks for watching the video. Listen, if you want our free word track guide, 52 word tracks will teach you how to dominate sales, just text 480-780-2203. It'll teach you how to dominate. Let's get back to the video. Text us. Let's go. The 6 steps to a sales cycle. I want you to write these 6 steps down. If you get these right, you are going to win. But if you don't believe it, and if you're not becoming this person, you have to become the closer. It's not just some fucking cute clothes that you have and you just make a sell. Guys, you have to become the closer. So in order to become the closer, before we start, and I teach you the processes that I know have made us millions of dollars, if you can't become a new person, create a new identity, money, start to up your self-worth. Hey, I'm worth this amount of money. Not just saying it, but backing it with massive action. Cutting off a couple of habits, writing down right now a couple of habits that don't serve the future version of yourself. What would the you in 2 years, 5 years say that you need to stop right now in order for you to get the life that you want? And do you have the courage to do it? Or are you just a little shit talker that talks to your family and says, I want this big life, and then you don't do anything about it? Okay, I'm so sick of seeing those people who are just jaw jackers, man. I know in this company that it is a massive earning opportunity. I know it. I know it. I've seen what people can do. And you can give me any excuse in the book on why you're not being successful, but there's somebody in the company that's kicking your ass. Or or I have the ability to come down there with my perspective and with my sales skill and sell like I've sold with you guys and be successful. So don't give me that shit, and don't give me that shit that in the modular home space or the tiny home space, there's not millionaires being created. You could be that next person. The problem might be your level of commitment, your level of discipline, and your level of action. If you could get those things right before we even start this call, your discipline, your commitment, and your level of action, the amount of action you take. Listen, action can cure everything. Action over everything. Action can cure bad health. If you put massive action into your health, could you get jacked? Could you have a paradigm shift and immediately get healthy in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Yeah. If you had a bad marriage right now and your relationship was getting distant and you put massive action into it, would it make a better marriage if you took it back to like it was the beginning and you started talking differently and you started acting differently? Yes. If you put massive action into your follow-up and your prospecting, could you generate more leads and more clients? Or could you sit over there and bitch about how the company's not providing you enough leads and enough things? See, I have a perspective that I think has been able to allow me to kick everybody's ass. Because I see the good in most things. Not perfect. Sometimes I can get a little negative, but I also know that the devil's always coming to kill, steal, and destroy. Your mind. Your mind. He also takes what's valuable. If you're valuable, if your mind is valuable, if you've got a valuable heart and you're going to go do big shit in your life, do you know that he's going to convince you to play small? That you're weak? That the people around you aren't good? Like maybe the good people around you aren't good people, or they don't like you, or you start to create this bullshit? Guys, let's check our mindsets before we get into this. Step number 1 is the pursuit. I want you to think about your level of pursuit, your level of prospecting, man. Are you on the hunt every single day, prospecting your ass off? Are you on the pursuit?
He's on the pursuit.
Step number 1, he is on the pursuit right now, right, Dustin? Listen, the pursuit, I want you to write this down. ICP, ICP. Okay, your ideal customer profile. I want you to know what your customers that are coming in, they're typically buying. What's their profile? Are they looking for investment properties? Do they typically have a couple of FAQs, a couple of questions that they consistently ask that you might not know? Where are they coming from? What's your ideal client that might buy 10 homes, might buy 20 homes, might buy 50? What's the guy that's just a small town guy that might be buying one little investment property? Can you identify him? I know what my perfect client looks like. I'm telling you right now, I know my perfect client profile. Think about your big ones, your big VIP clients, your big whale clients, down to your little guy. Right when you see him, can you size him up? Can you immediately know that this person fits this typical profile that usually buys this from me? Okay? I am good at this because I grew up pretty little bit of a crazier background, right? Like I grew up with people where things could go south very quickly. If you grow up with an alcoholic dad and some people around you that cause a lot of problems and get in fights and different things, right when you see somebody, you're pretty good at sizing them up on if their body language is right, if it's gonna be a good day, if they have good energy or bad energy. I'm watching their hands, I'm seeing what's going on. You know, like I can see those things. You gotta get so good at sizing people up, even based off their language, based off their eye contact. What do they say? Actually, what sometimes do they not say? Right? What kind of car do they pull up in? What kind of bumper stickers do they have? You got to get so good at seeing things and feeling things and anticipating where that ideal client's going to go. Okay? You need to analyze your top customers, their demographics. Write this down. Analyze my top customers. What are their demographics? What are their occupations? What are their incomes? Where are they located? Look for patterns that will define them. The one thing that me and Colton have been getting fired up on is he's just been finding these deals and these partnerships everywhere. 1, because he's putting them out into the universe. And then 2, because he's not blind right now that God's actually putting all these people in his life, and he's so fired up and he's on fire in a lot of areas, so he's attracting some of these people. I know for a fact, some of you guys walk by your ICP at the gym, at the store. You literally walk by that one handshake that could change your life, but the reason why it's not going to change your life is because they didn't say hi to you, or they didn't give you the right energy, Monty. They didn't say something that made you want to go talk to them. Now, if you can become the person that can master a stranger and you see something pops up in your mind, you're like, man, that could be one of my ideal prospects. Let me just go up and talk to them, right? Let me go up and make their day. Let me go up and network. How many leads are you generating outside of tiny homes? Colton and Kyler, did you guys come in on one of our lead funnels? Did you guys come in on one of the Elliott Group lead funnels? Oh, you did it. Lacey. Hey, get Lacey. Lacey's over here talking. Man, everybody's off of you. Kyler, Colton, did you guys come in on a lead funnel? Or did I generate you as a lead by talking to you and going up to you, right? And then giving you good energy and following up on you. Colton is like, I don't need no help back in the day. He was really closed-minded, little asshole. Freaking didn't want to give me no time of the day. You guys know that client. Yeah, that was Colton. But I busted down his doors with good rapport. Okay? Good discovery. Staying on top of him. He started to follow me on social media. I'm consistent on my social media. Some of you guys have started building a brand, but then you stop. And your ICPs are right there, out there on social media. Your ideal clients are right there, and you're starting to build a brand. But then because you're not getting the views or the likes, or maybe you only get one comment, you stop. Do you realize that's where everybody starts? Okay, so I want you to think about your outreach. Write this down. Once you've identified your ICP, do you have an outreach strategy? Okay, whether that's going through your DMs, cold calls, starting with an introduction, what does that look like? Okay, do you have a hook? Write this down. Do I have a hook for my clients? Okay, when I hook them, can I get into step number 2, which is building a relationship? Okay, I want you to think about this as this is the great alliance. This is where you build the great alliance. This is where you become like brothers, man. Okay, look, listen, a lot of people feel like high level enthusiasm and energy, it might be old school selling. Bro, listen, I want to do business with people who like their life. I want to do business with people, when I talk to them, they raise me up a little bit. I want to do business with people that are enthusiastic about the products and the things that they sell. I personally, I'm not filling your guys' head with shit. I love your guys' business. Every single time I talk to Colton and Kyler, I'm like, dude, there's so many things going on in this business. Not only could you get your own finances right, but you could buy some of these things at a very good deal from these guys, and you could put them around and you could start to build generational wealth right there with your own product. Like, you could meet some of these investors that are coming in and they're buying 5 or 10 homes. You might be able to get involved in one of those deals if you're the right person and you built the right alliance. Me and Colton are always talking about how can we make money together? How can we make money together? Because I built the alliance. We talk the same. We think the same. I identified them when I saw them. I'm like, that to me is a brotherhood prospect. That's the type of people who they fit this type of profile that would want to do the big shit, that would want to do this type of shit, right? You've got to identify that. So here's how you do it. The goal is first impressions matter. Let's write this down, okay? First impressions matter. Do you dress well? Do you talk well? Do your clothes look well? Do you smell like cigarettes? Do you smell like you drank the night before? What does that first impression look like? Some of you guys, the reason why you're single, Kyler, is because maybe your first impression sucks. You know, maybe you go out there and yeah, you got the right smile, but then you say some bullshit out of your mouth and you don't hook them. Kyler, work on your damn sales skill, bro. You see how hot Colton's girl is? Wouldn't that piss you off? Shouldn't that make you get a little competitive? Okay, you're losing.
Let's stop talking about finance for that.
Yeah, you're losing for a minute. Yeah, dude. Hey, listen. Hey, he's focused. Colton's over here worried about the girl. Kyler's over here focused, dialed in. Okay, but think about this for a second.
I'm gonna get the jet.
I know you are. And by the way, you're gonna get a beautiful woman. I believe in you, bro. Okay, but think about this for a second. I want you to write this down. Transfer of enthusiasm. After we go through, man, we built the right rapport. The customers love us. Do we have that transfer of enthusiasm? Selling is a transfer of enthusiasm. If you're not genuinely enthusiastic, why should the customer be? Like, why should the customer be? If it's just like, hi, this is Saddlebrook Modular Homes, how can we help you? Like, yeah, oh, you want this thing? Oh, yeah, okay, let me take your order. Can I have fries with that? Hang the phone up. Give it to somebody else who actually cares. Give it to somebody who's gonna go deeper. Man, hey, listen, what motivated you to reach out to Tiny Homes today? You see my tonality? I'm shaking, I'm fucking fired up. What motivated you to reach out to us today? Did you see one of our TikToks? Did you see one of our ads? Man, have you seen what the tiny home space is becoming and building like? With inflation going up, things are going through the roof. Our product is on fire. Our product is on fire. The market, the business is doubling month after month after month. I'm so glad you called in. Right now, I got a couple of units that I'd love to talk to you about. Tell me, what are the things that are important to you, Mr. Customer? Look, tell them what you believe. Here's what we believe. It should be a transparent, fun experience when you buy. So I'm gonna bring a little bit of energy today. I'm gonna have fun with you. I just love my job. Maybe I'm doing this in person. Maybe I'm giving them, which I'm gonna give a badass demo. But if you can't build that rapport, Adair, Kobe, when he met you, somehow he built enough rapport for you to want to take it to the next step. That's called a sell. Okay, same thing with Dustin and Lacey. Same in relationships, doesn't matter. Even in business relationships, when Dustin and Colton met, they found an alliance, and then they found this like mutual brotherhood and love for each other. Now they're just freaking in love, dude. They just love. They're just like boyfriend and boyfriend. Lacey is always so damn jealous of those two. She's always talking shit right over here about you guys. Lacey works in our office, just so you know. She's right here. Dustin and you guys are right here. You know, it's like, damn, bro. But listen, it's okay. We take great care of Lacey over here. We're all love. of, okay? But think about your transfer of energy. Now write this down, build rapport. People hate being sold, but they love shopping with their friends. They hate being sold, but they love shopping with your friends. Think about the last time you went to the mall with your buddies, with your friends. Look, you're just looking to find some alignment with people. I have a special ability of making people feel powerful around me, getting them to talk about themselves. I want you to write this down. Why questions. Ask them some why questions. See, here's the surface level questions, and then make them go deeper. It's like that success iceberg you see on these like cool success posters. Make it go deeper. What are those questions? Okay? Lead us to the pain points. But if you're not good at asking questions, and you're not, because maybe Adair, you're like, you have some imposter syndrome or something. Maybe for some reason you get around a guy that's making, you know, $500,000, couple $100,000, and he's buying investment properties, and maybe you haven't done that yet in your life. So for some reason you don't put on the show worth paying for. With what you don't understand is most of these people have been in business before, and if you had a high level enthusiasm, you were asking good questions, you were putting on a show worth paying for, that they would almost want to recruit you into their organization. By the way, if you're not getting some people here and there recruiting you into another organization, you're probably not putting on a show worth paying for, because you guys are running into business owners all the time. Now, what's the key? Can you stay loyal? Can you stay loyal to a good company for a long term and then really build something because it has a big vision? Good. A lot of people, they jump right off and they go from thing to thing to thing. I don't believe in that. But can you build this level of rapport where you're asking really good why questions? Hey, Mr. Customer, obviously you're a lawyer. You've been telling me all about you. Why'd you choose to go to law school? What made you go there? What was the turning point? Did you ever feel like you were going to quit, man? I've been at really hard points in my life, and I know that there was like maybe one moment that kind of got me through it. Can you share one of yours? Like, guys, talk about radical empathy. That's a word Lacey uses all the time. Radical empathy, which she really has. That's why she's so passionate about her job, is because she truly has empathy for the people around her. That's why our team loves her. And she truly has empathy for the client and what they're feeling and what's going on. The difference between the good salespeople and then going to great is actually having that empathy. It almost gives me chills, where you feel, you love them, you want to be around them. You actually you're like, what can I do to solve their problem? Not just sell them, but serve them. Sell them, but serve them. Everybody say that. Sell them, or serve them, not sell them. What can you do to raise that level of service? That level of customer service. There's the customer service and then the experience. Customer service is just having a good customer service voice, dude. You're building rapport. Customer's experience is wowing them throughout the experience and making it feel like this is home. You guys ever walk into a business and you can feel the dark energy and you don't want to be there? You ever walk into somebody's house and you feel the dark energy and you're like, man, I don't like it here. Okay, think about your guys' spot. Do you build that? Does it, when you walk into Saddlebrook, does it scream excellence? Does it feel like it? You can't change. You have to be able to change that feeling. And then all of you guys, we've talked about the 10-foot rule. We've talked about a lot of stuff as we've been able to grow this company, a lot of money. But some of you might be missing out on money because of a couple of little things that you might be stuck in your zone. Because I know if I got out there, I'd kill it. Okay, I want you to think about this for a second. Leaving a lasting impression by focusing on building a connection rather than making a sale. I want you to think about that for a second and write this down. Leave a lasting impression by focusing on building a connection rather than making the sale. I am focusing on building the connection with Kyler and Colton rather than the sale that I'm trying to sell them. I know that if I build the real connection, I will find the deeper problems. And the deeper problems create more money and more impact and more meaning. And that's why my clients stay with me for a lifetime. Okay? Number 3, light the spark, man. That discovery process, dude. Let me give you a couple of discovery questions. I kind of talked about this, and I kind of call it like, the truth is like, I'm nosy, man. I remember doing car dealership credit apps. Monty, you know this. It's like you do credit apps. Now you guys are kind of getting into financing. My favorite part of doing a sale was also always the credit app. Like always the credit app. Because I like to know what kind of money people are making. I want to know their social security number. I'm not doing anything wrong with it, I swear. Other than Colton's. I did buy some shit. Colton, you don't have LifeLock, bro. If anybody wants to steal, no, I'm just kidding, dude, that's messed up. But listen, my favorite part of the sale for real was like the credit app, because it gave me a chance once I got that app. By the way, there's a lot of discovery that I did leading up into that. You can't even get to the app if you don't do the discovery. But the reason why I'm telling you that is because I like to get nosy. Everybody say get nosy. Okay, there's getting nosy where you're just a nosy motherfucker, and then there's getting nosy, and then there's building a good enough discovery and rapport with somebody where they're like, I don't tell anybody this. Anybody ever had somebody tell them that? Man, I don't tell anybody this. I can't believe I'm telling you this. You know, anybody ever picked up a girl or something? Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this, you know? It's like, yeah, baby girl, I got you. You know what I mean? Like, you guys know what I mean. You closers know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's because you built good discovery. That's because you did it right. Now, here's the opposite of that. Promise you. And some of you guys may not like this. You ever been at the end of a sale and somebody like goes up to your manager and they're like, they did such a good job. They did, oh my God, I just love them. But they're not buying shit from you? Yeah. Okay, you didn't do a good job. They might like something about you good enough to, or they might just be nice people, but you didn't get deep enough to find the problem, to solve it, to make the sale. Let's just call it what it is, dude. Let's just call it what it is. Or maybe you're the nice guy, but you don't know how to actually sit them down and put the right amount of pressure on them to actually get the deal done. Now, on the other end of that, anybody ever been on the other end of a sale where you built such good freaking rapport that the client's like, dude, thank you so much for helping me make a decision. Thanks for putting a little bit of pressure on me. Seriously, I really needed this and I was a little scared. Thank you for giving me some of the courage it took to make this decision. Anybody ever been there? Yeah, I know you have. That's because you got it all right on that one. That's because that's like draining a three-point shot, nothing but net, game-winning shot. You feel good, you go home, you're fired up. We can do that on every deal. We can. You're going to have to be a pro. Everybody say go pro. Go pro, baby. That's what it's about. But light the spark. What's a good discovery question? Here's one. Well, and by the way, write down what's their pain point right now. Write down what's their pain point. Identify the number one problem they are facing. In the tiny home space, in the modular home space, Mr. Customer, is this going to be a rental property? Is this going to be a full-time property? What are you going to be using this home for? Can you explain a little bit to me? Can you explain what you do? Like, go deeper on it. Nice. Okay, you're going to be using it for a rental property. Do you have more? Do you have other rental property? Have you ever owned a modular home before? Where are you going to be putting it? Do you already own some land? Aren't these things that we should know? I'm finding the pain point. What if he tells me he doesn't own any land? What if he tells me that this is the very first time he's ever thought about looking at it? Okay, we might have some work to do. Let's not get crapped out. Let's not lower our stake. Let's raise it. Let's figure out a way to put this thing together. There's so many different ways. But if you're the doctor and the customer is the patient, if I'm not asking the customer, hey, what's wrong with your elbow? Or I'm like, yo, what's wrong with your knee? But it's really their elbow that's hurt, and I'm trying to diagnose something where I don't actually know the problem. That's where we're going to make a mistake. Everybody feel me? So Adair, ask better questions. Yeah, Lacey, why are you moving? Exactly. You know what to, guys, listen, write down 2 or 3 of them right now that are going to get them talking about their current situation and what could be the pain point. Okay? Number 2. What's their price point? Determine if they can afford your product or service. Seriously. And you might say like, hey, listen, what kind of budget have you been allocating towards something like this? Right? Have you been thinking about investing in something like this before? Tell me a little bit more about that. Right? A good way to figure out what kind of job they have. It's like, hey, listen, Mr. Customer, by the way, you're calling from Texarkana? Do you work out there too? Nice. What do you do for a living? I didn't just go right to it. I said, hey, listen, Mr. Customer, you live out there in Texarkana? Is that where you'd be putting the tiny home? Nice. Do you work close to it? You gonna be commuting back and forth from it? What do you do for work? Something simple that leads me into what they do without me just saying, hey, by the way, where do you work? How much money do you make? And then I'm self-assessing. I'm like, oh, he's a lawyer. Maybe I might make a joke about a lawyer. Oh shit, I got a twin brother, man. No way, dude. He's always breaking the damn law. Dude, always in trouble. He could probably use you. Anyways, how long you been an attorney? What made you want to become an attorney? What made you want to go to law school? Are you from a lawyer family? Or are you the first one? Oh man, your family must be really proud of you. Gas them up. Everybody, gas your clients up. Give them some positive compliments, man. And make them real. Not like, oh, you're just such a nice person. Tell them why they're nice. Tell them why they're good. Gosh, that's one of the biggest keys, man. I'm always gassing Colton's big ass head up, dude. He loves me for that shit. Chris too, man. Every time I talk to Chris, I'm like, dude, which I love. Chris is like the most huggable, badass dude on the planet, dude. He just makes me freaking happy. Look at that smile, Chris. Go on ahead. Show him that smile, boy. Come on. See, look at that, dude. Okay, number 3. Who's the point person on the project? You got to make sure that to the decision maker. You got to make sure that if the decision maker isn't present, that you can get them involved. Me and Austin were talking to a very big deal that we had, and I was helping him close it and talk to the people. And every single time we had a conversation, I said, listen, if the decision maker's not going to be there, can we reschedule the call when we have everybody involved in the decision? Like, for real. I want to help you guys out. And listen, I just don't want to waste your time. That's my number one thing. I also don't want to waste mine. Look, I didn't start with that. Hey, look, my number one thing is I just don't want to waste your time. So just want to make sure, is everybody that's going to be involved in this decision present? Yeah, obviously, I just don't want to waste your time. And, you know, I don't want to waste mine, but like, you're the most important person. But is everybody that's going to be involved in this decision going to be part of the presentation? Okay, and are you just doing some, like just some legwork? Nice. Okay, tell me a little bit about the home that you were thinking about. Tell me a little bit about the size that you were looking for. Tell me a little bit about the price that you were kind of going for, the budget that you were aiming for. Okay? By the way, when somebody might tell you your budget, I'm very hesitant sometimes to ask about budget because everywhere I go, I'm over budget. I go to damn Best Buy, I freaking walk out of there $200 or $300 more than I was gonna spend anyways. So I think people overreact on like, oh, they said they can only spend $145,000. Bro, listen, if you are good enough and you do the right things, they'll spend $175. They might spend $200, okay? But are you good enough? So I don't, budget to me, I mean, I'm gonna ask a little bit of questions. More importantly, I just wanna know their background, like what they do for a living, how many homes that they bought, what they're, like, I wanna know a little bit of their history, and then I can self-assess close to what I believe that their budget could be based off of my professional experience handling it like a pro in this industry. You guys feel me? Okay, number 4. Make your demo special. Okay, number 4, the demo. Make your demo special, man. I see so many people that go to demo their product and it's boring as fucking hell, man. It's like there's no teeth behind it. There's no show. Back in the day when we sold cars, Monty knows we were showmen. We were very much showmen. Like, we put on a show, and our managers, if you didn't put on a show, if you didn't butterfly open the doors, you didn't walk them around it, you didn't put their head on the freaking engine, you didn't make them run their arm down the line of the hood, if you didn't do all that stuff, you got in trouble, man. We used to call it trunk monkeys. We'd stick people in the trunk. If you could put them in the trunk, you'd win $100 from your boss. That just meant that you had control of the client. Think about this for a second. In the car business, my boss would pay us $100 if we could get somebody on the showroom floor to get in the trunk and then we shut the hood. If you could do that, you had massive control of your clients. So they'd always pay you $100. They get out of the car and we're like, ah! And then I'm hugging them and I'm looking over the shoulder at the manager. I'm like, got me one. Give me that 100, bro. Monty knows. It's like, we had fun, man. We made everything fun, right? And the clients were having fun. Some of you guys are, that's me. No, dude, listen, bro. They love everything that I'm doing with my clients. They freaking love. Let's go. Oh, there's one of the little Croft brothers. I don't remember which one it was, but Trevin or something like that. Trace or something. I still haven't learned their names yet because they haven't put up big enough numbers for me to really be like, that's that one. Like when one of them puts up Austin level numbers, I'm gonna be like, that's that Trice brother, bro. That's Trevin. That's Trev. I don't know. There are too many T's. But when one becomes the great separator between the two of them, that's when I'll remember their names. Until then, I might name one of them Kyle and one of them Daryl or something like that. Just completely different. Okay. Okay, so we got on number 4 on the demo. I want you guys to think about this. A well-executed demo is.
Hey, Evan.
What?
You see Trace's clothing one right there?
His what?
Right in front of you.
I love that, bro.
50, I think it's 50 or, I'm not sure.
Good. If he doesn't close that shit, just bring the customer over here and let Big Daddy talk to him for a second. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. And he better ring that bell too on the showroom floor. By the way, how much has that improved your guys' like environment? Little things like that. Get a bell. And if there's other people there, it gets them bought in on the whole demo experience. Okay, there was a couple of you that I put in charge of different things in the environment, in the culture, and I know you haven't done it. Okay, but you talked a big game with me like you were going to be a part of this thing, and you didn't do it. I wonder right now, if I go out into the front of those homes, do they all look professionally done? Did we get a hold of any remodeler or any interior decorators? Did anybody make those calls? But everybody talked about it like they were a part of it. Okay, who's going to be the person that just steps up and solves problems in this company? Who's going to be the person that's the linchpin? The person that moves the needle, that doesn't have to ask, but actually moves it. And then they become this person that then gets the money. Who's going to be the person that starts to prepare for the life and job they want right now, and they act like it, and then they put that into the universe, and then it comes back to them tenfold? That's how I do. That's what I believe in, okay? So let's talk about that demo still real quick. Showcase your solutions by focusing on the number one problem identified in the discovery. Let me say that again. Everything that you should be talking about in the demonstration should be what you found out in the discovery. Most of the salespeople that I see, they're talking about all this product knowledge and bullshit that they actually like, and they're not focusing on the one problem that the client said that they actually. So what you're doing is when you're talking, it's just falling on deaf ears because it's not the actual problem that they're there for. You're getting all excited about the kitchen and the cabinets and stuff, and all they care about is the bedroom size and what it could be, what it could be, the layout on what it could be like for an Airbnb. But you're focusing on like 2 or 3 of the things that don't even matter. Or you're focusing on this when they're looking at this and they're over there talking about it, but you're fired up about your stuff. Okay? One of the things that I used to do in the car business was I had to really detach myself from the outcome. I called it divorcing myself from the outcome. So Kyler, what that means is this. I, for the last several years, have driven expensive cars. In the car business, my most expensive car was my S63 AMG. It was like a $167,000 car. I get fired up on that. Now, I also had like little cheap Nissans that I had too. Like I had a Nissan Leaf. I mean, I had a Nissan Altima. I mean, I've had them all. Nissan Xterra. I had all kinds of stuff. But my favorite one, and I had a Nissan GTRs. I always had like Nissan. I had the GTR for years. But I liked these expensive cars, like the Mercedes-Benz. I found myself at times when I get a Nissan Versa customer with manual roll-up windows, trying to get them onto the Altima Special Edition that had leather because I liked it. They didn't even give a fuck. In fact, the biggest thing, that Versa that was 10 grand felt like a Bentley to them. I've had people roll off of my lot crying, thanking me because I got them done on a $10,000 car that could change their life, where they're not walking in the 100-degree sun and the rain and the sleet and the snow, and they're fired up on what I sold them. But here I am, back in the day, selling to the needs that I wanted, all of the options that they didn't even need. I wasn't even talking about the fact that they felt like shit at the bus stop, that they had to walk home, that they had to go pick their kids up, jump on the bus stop, and that was the pain point. But then here I am trying to sell leather. They don't care about that. Don't in the car business, think about it from your perspective. What do you do right now in this business where you're selling stuff that doesn't matter to the client? You got to understand, you got to find that pain point, okay? So then when you go to do the negotiation, you're going to make examples and you're going to talk about the things that truly matter. You're going to make visual, engaging examples. And you're also going to paint pictures and tell stories during your demonstration. Let me explain a third-party picture that you could paint. Mr. Customer, I'm out doing the demo. I've met this guy, found out that he's an investor. He's looking for 5 homes. He's built a development. He wants to do something where he can make some residual income. He's invested in a couple of properties before. I might say things like, listen, Mr. Customer, you remind me of Dustin Morgan. Listen, this guy is freaking awesome. He talks just like you. He ended up doing a deal with me. We got him a really good home. We got him a really good deal on this. And he said a couple of things that were really, really important to me. He said that, listen, he needed to make XYZ amount per home on cash flow a month to make this happen. Very similar to what you've been talking about. He also said that, listen, he just wanted to find a good home with some good options that weren't too big, that were kind of right in the middle, so they were affordable. You know, he wanted to make this investment so he could build something that was sustainable for his family. So if he ever, you know, God forbid wasn't there, they actually had a dependable business that they could rely on for some money. Same as you. Dustin now is on his 3rd development with me. He's cash flowing $7,500 per development. Man, You're just like him. Dude, I can see that I talk to a lot of people, and I can tell that you're going to be one of those people that's going to be a game changer, not only for yourself, but for probably motivating a lot of people. Now I'm gassing them up. By the way, can you tell stories, success stories that are real, that are in your business? You guys hear them all the time from each other. Maybe it's the first time buyer. Maybe it's the single mom who's been abused and has 3 kids, and she's been looking for a freaking nice home, and she couldn't get anything done anywhere, and you guys were able to help her get a 1,200 square foot, 1,000 square foot nice home that the kids can live in, that's affordable, on a nice little piece of property. Something, you guys know what I'm saying? And you can use that as another story and testimonial when you're talking to somebody. That to me is painting a vivid example, so then people can start to key in on some of those key points that make them feel like, hey, look, I've been here before, I've sold it. You remind me of exactly like of a story that I saw. Okay? No one has an attention span anymore. In fact, some of you guys are freaking like going like this right now. Okay? What's your attention span look like? But listen, customers, it's fast. It's friendly. When you're on the demo, you give them a fast, friendly, good demo where it's quick. Don't get too geeked out on products. Don't get too geeked out on the wood and this is how we build it in the back, and we're gonna go over every little thing and every little assembly line, and here's how dude, listen, they don't care. Tell them what the time is, not how you built the damn watch. Okay? Just saying. And by the way, giving them a couple examples on why you guys are better and that you do all that stuff in the back is great. But I've also had people that super that part of things, and it turns the customer off because they're just there to figure out what can solve their problem, not how cool your process is. Okay? Step number 5, the wrap up, negotiations and closing. Okay? This is where you're going to have to navigate objections and close the deal. To tell you the truth, this is where some of you guys are falling apart. Okay? You need to know this, that most of the objections fall in a couple of categories. Please write these down. Your product, your time, it's money, it's a stall, or it could be just some other thing, and that's usually pretty small. But product, time, money, or a stall. Those are usually the things that they're going to fall into. Now remember to identify your client at the very beginning of the sale. Okay, you got to start to identify the objections that constantly come up, and you're crapping yourself out on them because you can't handle them, and it's typically the same thing. Now, for me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Before I met Andy, my brother and I got so good at building relationships that relationships kill objections. In fact, there's a video that always circulates of Ian and I doing an objection battle. Look, that objection battle, we had never been trained by Andy. That was our first time that we actually met Andy and came down to a seminar. But we knew our business so well that our objections sounded a lot like the objections that Andy has, because we were very just well trained in our. Okay, so I didn't need to get ready for a 3 or 4 hour objection battle where I'm talking about my own business and the objections I face every day. Some of you guys, if you would have to find your way to have to study for 3 or 4 hours to be able to go handle your top 5 objections, like, you're missing the point. You need to start to understand how objections work, have some basic scripts, but the scripts are the easy part. It's how you say them, and it's the empathy that you have on your words, and it's also like your level of enthusiasm that you have for the business and the client. Okay? It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So for me, I built enough rapport that I didn't get a lot of objections because I was able to those in the beginning too of the sale. Meaning, like, if I get a client down there, if Dustin comes down to look without Lacey, and I've identified that Lacey might be a key point in the business, I might even give Lacey a call while we're doing this with Dustin. I might FaceTime Lacey. Some of you guys might skip over that, especially with wives. What I've noticed, especially with male salespeople, they always skip over the wife. What you don't understand in a relationship, especially with when you have a wife, she makes the decision. You may act like you do, and you may like, I make the decision. Bro, listen. When you go home, we all know what you want. She controls what you want. Okay, so let's just be real about it. She makes most of the decisions. By the way, most of the time we're just posturing. Our wives are kind of standing behind us. We're kind of the tough guys. And then behind you, she's telling you if she's comfortable with the business. She's telling you what she likes about the house. She's telling you what your budget is, the whole 9 yards. She's usually taking care of that. Okay, so if you can't get the wife engaged and be using her name, Linda, listen, you told me this. Hey, Linda, real quick, you told me that your kids are going to need this. You told me that this would be important to you. You told me that. Hey, Dustin, real quick, let me just explain a couple of things to Linda. Okay, Linda, number one, thank you for coming. You're freaking awesome. When you were telling me that, you know, you have 2 kids and this room would be important to you, does this fit what you were thinking? I want you to visualize the room right now with the furniture in it. Does this fit the need? Okay, do you like that? Cool, I'm handling that. Right? Or if she's not there, I'm getting her on the phone, or I'm handling price objections before they even happen. I'm framing the customers to be decisive. Who gets the customers constantly that are like, I just got to think about it, man. You know, I got to think about this. I got to think about that. Bro, frame them. Frame them. Before the objection comes up throughout the process, you should be talking about how urgent they should be, how busy you guys are, how you're shipping these things all around the country, how there's only a few more time slots that are going to be available this month if they want to build something that they can get delivered. You're just dropping little seeds throughout the process. And then all of a sudden, when you come back around and they're like, hey man, I got to think about it. I'm like, bro, remember how I was telling you how busy we are and how we're shipping these things around the country? Look, I already know this would be a good fit, wouldn't it? You told me that if it met this qualification and this problem, remember how you told me that you needed this to solve this problem? Doesn't this do this for you? Okay, so if it solves that problem and that's the only objection, is that the only objection you have? Isolate it. Isolate it. Mr. Customer, is that the only problem that we're facing? Okay, you told me you want to wait for it because of the election, this, whatever the hell they're talking about. You're like, Mr. Customer, can I explain how our works right now and have some bullets in your gun? Mr. Customer, here's how a bullet works. I got to wait for the election, all this, that, and the other. Listen, Mr. Customer, I just told you at the beginning of this thing the whole time that you're going to have to be decisive and pretty urgent if you want to do business because, look, right now, with what's going on in the tiny home space, with inflation going through the roof, the modular homes are actually increasing in value like you wouldn't freaking believe. Right now, if you were to get into one, what we're experiencing is most of our clients are actually walking out of here with equity. Is that true? Most of our clients are actually walking out of here with equity, a payment that they can afford. And with interest rates where they are right now, actually our prices are a lot lower. But when interest rates come back down, prices are going to go up. That's just how things work. That's just the nature of the economy. So if you buy it right now, well, the interest rates are a little bit higher and interest rates go down, our prices are going to go up. But you right now, you're just going to date the rate and marry the payoff. You're going to date the rate and marry the payoff. The payoff's the lowest that it could possibly be right now. That it's going to possibly be. I want you to understand this. When the interest rates come down, you can refinance the home, okay? And your payoff is still low. You need to lock it in right now while we actually have a chance to do that deal that we've been discussing. Because I promise you, if you come back in 3 months from now, these homes are probably going to be at least 20% higher. Least, at the very least. Especially with we know how badass Donald Trump is. We're going to be, dude, things are going to get more, like we're going to be raising our price. We're taking our business to the next level because we know interest rates are coming down, okay? Isolate it. Isolate that objection. Here's how you isolate it. Listen to what I said. Mr. Customer, other than that objection, is there any other reason you wouldn't do this right now? Mr. Customer, other than that objection, is there any other reason that you wouldn't do this right now? And then listen to their feedback. Listen. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. They're going to tell you what you need to do to close them. They're going to tell you, and then steer the conversation with a strategic response. Guys, steer the conversation with a strategic response after you ask them that question. You guys are going to make me explode on here. I'm going to freaking have a heart attack on here. It's not hard, but you have to practice it. Mr. Customer, other than that objection, is there any other reason you wouldn't do this right now? Okay, listen, I'm going to get their feedback and then I'm going to steer my answer with a strategic response that paints a picture and tells a story on why they would benefit doing business with our business and doing it right now. That's where people mess up. That's where people mess up. Okay? And formulate a win-win proposal. I want you to write this.
David?
Yes.
Now on your strategic response,
you're not going to go into features and benefits. You're going to keep painting that result, right?
Yeah, well, Dustin, what you want to do when you give a strategic response is like you want to listen. Customers, one thing I know about customers is sometimes when they go through the sales process, they forgot what their pain was. It's your job to kind of bring that back up and remind them why they're in there. And then you formulate a strategic response, which could be using a story, painting a picture, really just being direct and letting them know exactly where they are. And then it goes into this part. Formulate a win-win proposal that addresses their concerns and protects their interests and your interests. It has to feel like it's a win-win. That's why in the car business, just being on it, like the car business has designed it very well. The way that we give proposals out, the way that we kind of negotiate, make them feel like it's a win-win deal, right? Most of the time, it's a couple $1,000s higher. We start higher, Monty, right, on the payment. That's why we sell payment, because the payment is usually has leg in it. It's called leg, right? So like if I'm going to start the client out and I want them to feel like they're winning, if I'm working a deal with Colton or Kyler, especially now that you guys do financing, I might start that deal out with a little bit of room, $100, $200 on the payment, you know, a couple of add-ons that I could negotiate maybe off the home. I don't know, something. I'm going to come up with something that's going to make them feel like a win-win. But I'm also going to figure out what the proposal is. When we were talking to Austin's investors, they're these Indian guys. They just need to feel like they need to feel like it, okay? We had to concede a couple of things, but we also had to stay ultra tough with them. There's a power in saying no in sales. You have to know when to say it. Sometimes if somebody comes back 1 or 2 times and keeps offering you something, you have them right where you need to, and you need to say no. Can't do that. If you got them on the hook, you guys know those people. You know when the fish is on the hook. You know when they're asking too much and you just need to say no and stand firm in your beliefs, okay? But formulate a win-win proposal that addresses their concerns, it protects everybody's interests, and we're happy and we're in love. If it's just you winning and you're clubbing head and you're making all the money, you know that that's not going to build a good relationship. Like, you know what's a fair deal. You know also if you're just undercutting every deal to sell volume and it's not good for the business, and also it's not good for your paycheck. Like, you know it. So why don't we get tougher? Why don't we have a backbone? And why don't we really become the elite salespeople that we know we should be? Okay? Now, number 6, the art of follow-up. This could be one of the most important things, guys. The money that you're looking for is in the follow-up you're not doing. Like, you're going to need to do some new follow-up. You're going to have to get creative. You're going to have to actually set some non-negotiables with your follow-up and start following through with it. I bet you right now, a lot of you guys, a lot of people complain about the amount of leads they're getting, but the leads that they have, they don't take care of. The average salesperson goes 1.4 touches. The big deals are done at touch 6 and 9. I've seen some of Austin's deals that you guys are seeing that he's creating, and I saw one of the last big ones. We followed up with that client since January. And then another one we followed up since like last January, right, Colton? So it's like, listen, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So listen, man. Some of these big deals, they're not going to be little one call closes. I've also seen some of you guys fly around the country. I've seen Austin came down here to Arizona. I mean, I've literally seen those salespeople that go to the next level. Okay. If you want next level money, you're going to have to do next level shit.
How many touches did you do on Randy that just bought 3?
Probably 24.
Okay, 24. And look, he bought 3 from you.
It was a lot.
Okay, guys, listen. If Chris doesn't do that, do you know he just goes and buys from the competition and finds somebody? And by the way, while he was doing those 24 touches, do you know how many salespeople he probably had calling his phone? I'd say at least 3 to 4, at the very minimum. At the very minimum. Chris outworked those motherfuckers. I'm just telling you. And he showed, listen, write this down. You need to have the ambition in your heart that your clients believe that you're the most relentless salesperson that they've ever met. You need to have the ambition, which means like you have the belief that your clients believe that you're the most relentless person that they've ever met. I assure you that Colton and Kyler, when I talk to them, they believe I'm one of the most relentless people that they've ever met, and they respect it. They respect it, and that's why they respect my time too, because they also know I'm busy, right? Your clients will respect you if you come off with that impression of increase, that like you increase business around you. You do big shit. You're one of these big hitters. You're a needle mover. Okay, Adair, you might not talk like it right now, but you better start to trick yourself and act like you are. Because at one point, I didn't believe it, that I had it. And then all of a sudden, I had that one breakthrough, that one deal that gave me momentum to start believing myself to go to the next level. You guys are all one deal away from a new identity, a new belief. I swear to God, this isn't just me talking. One of our guys had a $200,000 deal come through the other day, and normally he's used to selling, $10,000 deals, $5,000 deals, $2,000 deals, $1,000 deals. He had a $200,000 deal come through. He is walking with BDE energy now. If you're a girl, you can still walk with that kind of energy. It's just a little different, okay? Dustin doesn't know what that is. He's like, what is? I don't know what that is. It's called big dick energy, Dustin, with your old ass. You got it. You have it. I've seen you walk around with it, just freaking hanging. Okay?
Trace, Austin, Travis,
Okay?
Chris Monty.
He was like this.
That y'all been getting.
He was like this. He was like, what is that? I see it on his face. Okay, I want you to think about that. Once you get those deals, don't go back to the old you. Here's the cycle of learning. It's a triangle. You get coaching, you get fired up, you go back to the same old you need to go get more coaching, get fired up. You go in this triangle. Yes, you need coaching. Yes, you need education. Yes, you need inspiration. Yes, you need to stay around positive people, but you need to kill off the old that keeps going back to the old shit. That's why we started off this call and I said you have to die 1,000 deaths. Every day you need to kill off that person, because if you're not, the old you comes back. Some of you guys have old destructive habits, old trauma, old bullshit, and you keep putting yourself through reliving it. Stop it. Okay? But number six, the art of follow-up, okay? I want you to, the 3 F's. Follow up, follow through, follow back. Follow up, follow through, and follow back, man. Listen, if you're following up and you're closing deals, but you're not following through on the shit that you promised, you're an amateur. Or if you're over the product and then not over delivering, you're an amateur. If you're not following back, man, if you're not circling back with the client and making sure that everything that they went on delivery day, that everything went just like according to plan and they're excited, and you're not continuing to build that business, you will not have a dependable business. Colton knows 70 to 80% of my business is referral business. Kyler and Colton have sent me several people. Why? Because I show up and I fucking deliver, dude. Just like most of you guys. But if you look up at your business and your deals from last month and you're not starting to get more referrals, it's because your follow up, your follow through, and your follow back. Follow up. I want you to think about it. I can write this down. Have a process that regularly checks in with your clients. Have a process that regularly checks in with your clients. Okay? I want you guys all to create a top 25 client list. The top 25 client list is not only are you going to follow up with all your clients, but you're going to promote clients from a regular client to a VIP client, which means like you just talk to those clients on a specific day, specific time of the month, where you're just continuing to build that relationship. Those are people that you like to do business with. Those are people that, like, when you talk to them, you get fired up, that you have common ground with, that you could see, that could go out and promote clients or that could go out and promote you and actually be your best recruiting source. Okay?
Am I a VIP client or a regular?
Kyler is a VIP client. Colton is not a VIP yet. He has not given me enough referrals to meet the VIP level, but Kyler is a recruiting master. But see, Kyler, and you got to identify people. Tommy, one of our top salespeople, he had a guy in here that reminded me of Kyler. He had very Kyler-like energy. Kyler likes seeing people make money together and connecting the dots and creating friendships. Like, he likes to do that. I told Tommy, I'm like, that guy's a connector. He's a connector. You need to get really close to that guy, and after you deliver, the day after you make a big delivery and you get this guy massive results, ask him to give you one of his best friends that you think that you guys would fit well together. He gave him an immediate referral. He made big money with this next referral. And then not 2 days later, he gave him another referral. This guy has become one of his top recruiting sources. And he identified it. Remember how I told you got to identify these people? Kyler's one of those people. Colton's one of those people. Colton hooked me up with a CFO that runs all my stuff now, and he just loves doing that. And that guy loves talking to people about Colton. That's how you create like business. Dustin's he's a connector. He loves putting people in the right, like that's why, dude, he'll go down there to where you guys are at and give you as much value as you possibly can, not knowing what's in it for him. Just out of reciprocity, just trying to figure out ways to help people, because he knows if he does the right thing by people, God will bless him with more blessings. Like, you got to understand that. You have to have this reciprocity mindset. And I swear to God, if when you unlock this and you just start doing and giving, even to your team and the people around you, you will be surprised what God will bless with you. I'm telling you. Okay? But follow up.
Travis, Briar, Austin, Money, Chris, they're scared to show their face. They can't want to show their face.
That's okay.
What's top 3 objections that we're getting today that we can close more deals?
Hang on real quick. Hang on. Let me finish with this real quick. Follow through. I want you to write this down. Colton, sit your ass down, okay? Colton, okay, follow through, okay? Do what you say you will. I want you to write that down on follow through. Do what you say you will. If you promise a call at 5 o'clock, you're going to give your call. If you promise call at 4:59, you're going to give the call. Or be upfront if you need more time, or if you need more time to get a proposal, or whatever it is that you need. Just be upfront with it. People can handle the truth if you actually tell them the truth up front. What they can't handle is the bullshit behind the scenes, like they don't know what's going on. Okay? In this space where you're dealing with a high-level purchase, it's one of the most important purchases somebody can make in their life. You have to be good at this. Okay? Follow back. Reconnect with the clients who didn't convert, okay, or did convert. But let's talk about the ones who didn't. Reconnect with the clients who didn't convert the first time and keep in touch with your past clients, okay? This is important. The close isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Monty, me and you were taught the wrong way. What we were taught was go out and sell, high pressure, and then like that was it. Like most of the time in the car business, just being honest. It wasn't like build a dependable business. Here's how you build a dependable business. I want you guys to write this down. The close isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The follow-up ensures that you truly have a customer for life. The close isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The follow-up ensures that you actually have a customer for life. So get good at it. The money that you're looking for is in the follow-up that you are not doing. If you can do this, I promise you, if you just take what we've talked about on this Zoom and you go really truly level up your follow-up game, you will make and double or triple your sales. And you'll be happier because you'll have a dependable business built underneath you. Okay? So that's all I got for you guys today. You're welcome. I love you guys. I will handle an objection now, Colton. Thank you. Go on ahead. Give me a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, some of you guys aren't used to clapping for people. Trace, I'll beat your little ass, okay? Just remember, I'll spank you, boy. I'm old enough to be your daddy. I swear, I will. Monty, go spank that kid. Show him an old school spanking.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, one of my customers on a 3-way call.
What was that?
She just texted and said, hey, probably going to have to pull out on my plans. The housing market sucks right now, inflation year and everything else. This house probably won't sell anytime soon.
Yes. Hey, here's what you do. Find an article right now. Okay, so listen. What you guys will understand about when there's blood in the market, that's when rich people actually get rich. So like when there's blood on the street, that's when the rich people actually step in and start investing their money. That's not when they pull back. So what you should do is find something right now that literally is like stories of people that pushed through in the tough times in 2008, 2009, and you should explain to her, this is actually the time where you push through because you will never find another deal just like this. I assure you, this is the best time for you to invest. Okay? So find a third-party article of somebody who's made, or a couple people who've made investments in bad times, 2008, 2009, and explain to her, this is when the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Because the poor, they get scared and they run, and when there's blood in the streets, the rich get richer. So why don't you put a little bit of risk in? You've been running. Look, you could get really honest with her. Now this is me, this would be how I would talk to one of my clients. I'd say, listen, the play that you're running right now, let's just play this out. The play that you've currently been running has got you the results you're getting. So the reason why you don't have a lot of money and a lot of investments, a lot of properties, is because you've been living with the mindset and running that same play. What you should do is start risking something and betting on yourself. And if you actually did that, you'd get the life and you'd get the results that you wanted. So right now, if you were actually able to run a different play, which I'm telling you, this is the play that tons of people are running. We're busier than we ever have been. And most of the people that we're doing business with usually are having a 7 and an 8-figure net worth. These guys are coming out to the freaking party, and the poor people are going and running and hiding because they haven't been taught that this is actually the cycle that they should be taking advantage of. Ooh, now that's really getting a little direct. That's going to take a little bit of having some nuts on you to have that conversation. But hey, you either do it or you don't, and then they stay on the fence and indecision. And you might even tell them, listen, Mr. Customer, there's a lot of people paralyzed, use that word, with indecision right now. They're hanging on the offense of indecision. There's 3 things. There's good decision, bad decision, and indecision. You know which is the worst one? Indecision. If you make a bad decision, by the way, it's on a $100,000 home, it's just feedback. You're going to learn from it. It's not a huge investment, right? It's not going to break you. If you don't make a decision, nothing happens, right? And it's just you live the same life and the same results and the same thing. But if you're paralyzed in fear and indecision, all you're going to do is let this eat you up, and you're going to have regret at the end of your life that you didn't finally make a decision to get into something that you've been wanting to get into. So why don't we do this? Why don't you borrow some of my courage, and let's go make this decision to get one of these modular homes, and let's move forward. And I'm going to help guide you, and you're going to be just fine. Just like the last 30 clients that I haven't had a single one that called me back and was worried about it. It's cheap. It's easy. Let's do it.
That's good.
Okay, who's got another one? Who's got another one? Anybody?
Briar.
I'll bury it. Anybody?
Travis.
Okay, all right, guys. Everything that I said, the winners on here are going to self-assess, and they're probably going to go back and watch this call 2 or 3 times. And they're going to take some notes.
Connection.
And they're really going to understand. Listen, it's like me.
Travis has one.
Okay. Travis, what's up, bud?
So me and Monty the other day, we closed one. We got a $500 deposit, and then like 2 weeks later, she called me. She said, "We're going with the loan. We're getting it." And then she called me like the next week, and she said, "We prayed about it, and we just don't feel like God is saying we need to do this."
Well, when there's God involved, you might have to go to the church with them. Actually, like, bro, I'm just going to be honest with you. If they pull the God card and they're like, look, Jesus came to me and told me, like, how am I going to surpass Jesus? Like, there's not much you can...
It was $115,000.
Bro, listen.
Come on, Evan.
Hey, listen. I love you to death. But if Jesus himself told you not to buy this, cool. Listen, if you're having a problem,
I couldn't say nothing.
I'd say, listen, if you're having second thoughts, I just want you to know we're a faith-based company, and I'd love to pray for you, and I'll say a prayer for you tonight to have the courage to make a decision to actually go to the next level and to start to live in a little bit of an uncomfort spot, because we both know that when you're uncomfortable and you push past those barriers, that's when you actually live the life that you truly want. So I'm going to pray for you that you actually do make that decision. And by the way, I'm going to send you something tonight. I'm going to send you some of these yummy cinnamon rolls. And why don't we talk again in another day or two? And I'm going to send you a couple of testimonials of some customers that also believe in God, that made a decision, and they love the decision that they've made. Okay, I believe in you, and I'm going to be right here for you when you're ready. And I might get off the phone, I might send them a couple of testimonials, and then I'm going to keep trying back. And at one point, listen, here's the difference in follow-up. Most salespeople are trying to catch people when the salesperson's ready. You're going to have to catch people when they're ready. That's why follow-up is important, because you might catch them on that one afternoon when they're like, you know what? Freaking saw 2 tiny home TikToks today that got me all motivated. You're right. I should make a decision. So just don't give up. And I just pray to God that the next time this comes up, Travis, you're not weak and you actually can handle it. Okay? Hey, Travis, listen, by the way, look, sometimes some of us, we're at different levels of sales and we're learning and we're growing. You know, it's like me on that wakeboard. If I didn't have Travis as my coach, bro, I was in trouble. I was embarrassing myself. You guys were making fun of me. Like, everybody was pointing and laughing. The culture was terrible at on your guys' boat. I'm just telling you. There was nobody building me up other than old Travis. Kyler Colton was just loving the fact that I was new at something and he could talk shit to me, you know? And then Travis jumps in the water and he just starts coaching me and he starts finding ways to get me up on that damn board. So Travis, I just want to thank you for being a great coach. You're my best friend down there at Saddlebrook, okay? I love you, buddy. Thanks for not giving up on me. Everybody needs a good coach in life. Everybody needs a good coach. Okay, guys. Hey, I do have a hard stop right now at 9:15. So go kick some ass, and then if you need anything, just text me and I'll handle anything for you guys. Thank you, guys.
Hey, sir.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Hey, it's the Macklin twins. Thanks for watching the video. Listen, if you want our free word track guide, 52 word tracks will teach you how to dominate sales, just text 480-780-2203. It'll teach you how to dominate. Text us. Let's go.